know that the real meaning of the title Hebrew had to be obscured. It was noted that the word was similar to apiru, which referred to thieves, wanderers, and vagabonds, or to simple shepherds seeking refuge in Egypt due to droughts. Such refugees did exist, and were bound to sustain themselves in Egypt by performing menial tasks. With the letter H added, we have hapiru, making a word that could easily be mistaken for Hebrew or Hebrew. But the apiru or hapiru were not the same people as the Hebrew or Ibaru or Abaru, the wise ones and counselors to Pharaoh. Now the Irish or Aryan Magi had journeyed far and wide and had established mystery schools throughout the far-flung corners of the globe, in every empire and major city. The early Egyptians knew them as the Shem Suhor, or disciples of Horus. And a while ago we came across that when we looked at Albert Churchward's discovery of the parchment that talked about the builder and the designer of the Great Pyramid in Egypt, and that this man was of the company of what he called the disciples or the followers of Horus, Horus being the falcon-headed sun god, from which we get terms like hour, hours of the day, the Horus, the horizon, the great sun god of Egypt. Well, the Shem Suhor, here we have them again. The Shem Suhor are the Druids in an Egyptian context. They existed in pre-dynastic times. They were temple builders, they were astronomers and astrologers, they were teachers, and they were the ones who are the primordial Hebrew, not the Apiru, that just simply meant a visitor to your land, a refugee. And it's known by historians that there were great famines, that Egypt was the breadbasket for all people in the surrounding districts and lands, from as far away as Mesopotamia, as far away as Palestine. In times of great famine, they would all descend on Egypt, hoping to be looked after, you see. And there was also on Santorini, the eruption of Mount Thera, which has now come to light, which also caused devastation in that region. And again, Egypt, although Egypt was shaken desperately itself, all the people of the surrounding countries looked to Egypt as the breadbasket, looked there for their survival. So, Egypt had severe immigration problems of its own during that time. But the word Hebrew can also be traced to the Gaelic Heber or Eber, meaning the fire or the sun. A Hebrew or an Iberu was a priest of the sun. We're talking solar cult here. The word did not refer to a race or nation, as we've been told by duplicitous historians. It actually referred to the caste of Druidic elders and to their gnosis. It also referred to their sacred language and alphabet. A Hebrew, then, was one conversant with the sacred knowledge. To be precise, the knowledge of the stars. Arthur Diott Thompson, in his monumental work entitled On Mankind, Their Origin and Destiny, wrote, Hebrew, in short, is the language which enables men to pass from one meaning to another, which explains, interprets, gives the allegorical meaning. By Hebrews, therefore, Moses does not mean the Israelites, but men, Israelites or Egyptians, who were learned in the Hebrew language, in the knowledge of Ambres, the initiated and the initiators. The Reverend Robert Taylor, in his book The Devil's Pulpit, he wrote, the initiated who had passed through all the inferior grades and attained the highest rank of autops, or eyewitnesses, were called by the whole pagan world Israelites or Hebrews. The name of Israelites, Jews, or Hebrews did never designate a political or national body, but were the name which, from an infinitely remote antiquity, designated the highest order of the initiated into the holy mysteries, and to whom alone were committed the oracles of God. Now we start to see why the works of such people as I'm mentioning was suppressed. Now we know what earth-shattering revelations come when you delve into the subjects of etymology and philology, and you discover the true facts. So in short, the ancient name of the land of Ireland was Hibernia. Okay, so the ancient name for the land of Ireland was Hibernia. and the Irish were often known as the Hibernians. This is a Gaelic word, and it also denoted those tribes that inhabited Spain. In fact, Spain's olden name was Iberia, because the letter H is often silent. In short, the original Hebrews were the Irish. So Hebrew turns up as Iberu, Heber, and we find out that the ancient name of Ireland was Hibernia. And this is not because that name was brought by Easterners to the West, as some scholars maintain. No, it's because that term was the word that meant the Iberu, the land of the Iberu. It was taken west. It was known throughout the whole world. And the Egyptian language confirms what we are saying about these intriguing terms. In Egyptian, the word Ibre, meaning, like the Hebrew Eber, refers to rivers and to water. The reference here was most probably to the Nile and to the schools of the Hebrew that existed along that great river. With the letter H added to the beginning of the word, we have the Eber, meaning men of the river. Rivers were always considered sacred to the ancients. The Rhine River, for instance, takes its name from the Germanic word Rhun, meaning sacred knowledge or source of wisdom. Men of the river, therefore,